Hey folks, this is Coby from CobyWright.com and welcome back for another live training session. Now tonight I've got one that you've all been asking me for, and I've been asking me for this for a while. I keep telling you I'm going to do it, but then it seems like something more important always comes up. But then I realized yesterday when I was trying to think what I was going to do for y'all today, I realized, you know what, there's not really anything more important than autoresponders, and I should have done this a long time ago. So tonight we are going to be covering Imnica and Aweber, which are my two favorite autoresponders and the two that I use the most. Imnica is my favorite, and then Aweber is my backup. So I also use two other autoresponders. Actually, I use three other autoresponders as well. But we won't be covering those tonight because I think that pretty much everyone that's on my list and pretty much anyone period that's doing internet marketing or a lot of email marketing, I think that these two autoresponders will do pretty much fit pretty much any bill that you want. They are contrasting. And that's the reason that I use both of them, is because Imnica has a lot of some features that Aweber doesn't, and vice versa. Imnica allows me to do some things that Aweber doesn't. One good thing about Aweber is very, very compatible because they've been around for so long. They've been around for over 10 years, or it might be right at 10 years. But they've been around so long, it's kind of the go-to autoresponder for internet marketers. So they integrate with everything. Imnica, on the other hand, Imnica is a new company. They're working on 3 years old now. They're 2 years old now. They're working on 3. But for only being almost 3 years old, they have a ton of integrations. The internet marketing community has really, really grabbed a hold of this autoresponder and embraced it. So you can find a lot of things that integrate now with Imnica. Pretty much most of the payment process that any of y'all would be using if you do WSOs or you sell similar stuff, like JVZoo integrates with Imnica, and that was actually that was my request, and they did it. They were very fast. I asked them. I was doing a WSO with them, and I had to send in a request ticket to JVZoo, and I said, hey, can y'all integrate with Imnica? Because I'd talked to Brian Zimmerman about it before, and he's like, yeah, we could do that easy. And they did it in 3 days. So that's awesome. Warrior Plus integrates with Imnica. And same thing with MooshPay. Dr. Ben said they're working on it, getting that integrated in there as well, and it may already be integrated. So another payment processor that I use is getdpd.com. I'll put that's gocoby.com/dpd, and they also integrate with Imnica, and of course they integrate with Aweber. And they also integrate with some other ones that I use as well. But I don't want to say the names of those and get you all confused, because these two autoresponders are going to do pretty much everything that you want. When you start getting more advanced and you start spreading your eggs out around, then we can discuss other autoresponders. But for now, these two right here are pretty much going to fit everybody. And like I said, these two are my favorite, with Imnica having the edge over Aweber. Now, okay, we've got that out of the way. Talking about Imnica versus Aweber. And obviously Aweber is better known, so they're higher. Imnica is brand new, so to speak. They're working on 3 years, so they're cheaper. But they're both really affordable when you think about what they do. I know that they're expensive when you're first getting started, and especially if you're using Aweber, it's very expensive in the beginning. They both only cost you $1 to start out, but once you get going, let's just go over to Aweber and look at their pricing. And I'm in my Aweber account here. That probably isn't a good thing to be showing all that data on the screen, but I think it'll be okay. Let me just go to their site, and I'll probably try to log me back in since I'm logged in already. No, it went to their landing page. Cool. Get this out of there. Go to pricing. Okay, at Aweber, see, you sign up for $1, and it says $19 per month. So most people think, oh, it's only $19 a month. No. It's only $19 a month for your first 500 subscribers, and then you add this amount to it. So then it goes to $29 because you add 10 to your 19. Then it goes to $49, and then it goes to $69. And now this is the spot that I'm at Aweber. I'm paying $149 because I have over 10,000. So you can see it's quite a big jump once you hit from 50 to once you go from 10,000 to 10,001. And I'm just at the 10,000 mark in Aweber. Let's go I'll go over here and show you how many I have. So you can see I have 10,500 at Aweber. So, and this is with my unsubscribes. That's something I'll show you as well a little bit later. Is Aweber counts your unsubscribes. I'll show you how to get rid of that so you can save money. So that's the pricing on Aweber. Let's go over to Imnica. It's Imnica, and let me put the URLs for these in here for y'all. It's gocoby.com/Aweber and cobywright.com/Imnica. So y'all can be looking at these if you want while I'm talking about them. Now at Imnica, we'll go over to the pricing. Same way with them, they start with $1. And you can see their pricing is a lot more affordable. That's because, like I said, they're younger. They're still getting, trying to gain market share. So that's part of their unique selling point is they're a little bit more affordable. So you can get there free. You can actually start there for free for up to 1,000 subscribers. They do make you do double opt-in, and then they put like a little Powered by Imnica footer at the bottom. But it is free, so that's a great way to start if you are just completely strapped. But I suggest that you start with the paid account, because you can do single opt-in or double opt-in, and it removes the footer, and you have unlimited amount of emails. It's $3 a month. So you can see $3 a month, that would cost you, depending, that would cost you $19 until you got to 500 at Aweber. They would cost you $29 until you got to 1,000 at Aweber. So you can see the savings are different, or quite a bit. For me, I think I have the 30,000 plan at Imnica. So you can see 30,000 cost me $60 a month. It's half the price of what I'm paying at Aweber for a third of the list. Let's see. Let's go over here. This is the email I just sent to y'all. Let's see. This email went out to 14,000, so that means I have some duplicates, probably. Oh, I didn't send it to all my list either, though. It's not going to show me. Anyways, I believe I have like 22,000 here at Imnica. Let's see, 24,000. So there's probably about 4,000 to 5,000 duplicates. So I have about 20,000 there, and so I'm paying literally half the price for twice the amount of subscribers, even though my subscriber package is up to 30,000. So that's one of the attractions of Aweber. I'm sorry, of Imnica. Now, one of the biggest things that I get asked with Imnica is their opt-in forms, and I'm going to show you how to do an opt-in form. And also another downside to Imnica, and it's not really a downside because it actually helps you, is they don't track plain text emails, which Aweber doesn't track them either because it's a plain text, but Aweber tracks the links in them. So if I send a plain text email through Aweber, the links will look, like, see how this link right here says like Imnica blah blah. The link will look like that. So it'll say like tracks.aweber. If I send a plain text email through Imnica, the link will be exactly whatever it was that I put in, like if I, cobywright.com. That's what it'll say, instead of being cloaked like it would be with Aweber. So sometimes your opens and your clicks look like they're lower. It's not necessarily that they're lower, it's just because they weren't tracked. And so let's create a web form at Imnica. You just choose a list. I'll start with this one here up here at the top. Internet Marketing Newsletter. Just grab that. Let it load. I see that y'all putting some questions in the box. That's awesome. Keep them coming. I'm just going to start going down the line. Once you get it here, click over here on the Create Subscription, Unsubscription at the top. And you see you get this. This is not very pretty. You have 3 colors to choose from, which is the white and the blue. And then the earth, which is like red, brown. I always use the blue one. If you wanted to add the first name in here, which I usually don't, but if you wanted to, you could click on it. And you could even add their last name as well by holding down Control and clicking both of them. Click Apply Settings. So I go back over here and you can see it added them, but you're like, oh, it's below it. I want to put it above them. So you just grab it, drag it, and drop it. So this is pretty intuitive and really easy to use. Only problem is that they don't make them really pretty. Now, you can still work with this and have a decent looking form, with not a lot of work, but most people aren't going to really want this. Let's go back and let's remove the name and I'm going to remove those by clicking off of them. And I had to hold control to click off of it. And then I click apply settings, we'll go back, and it should be gone. Okay, they are. Now if I want to click up here, I can change this by clicking on the text and just putting in anything I want. And the same thing down here, you could put something in here if you want. Go. And you can't change the button from within here. But now, normally I don't even mess with this, so I'm going to show you what I normally do is I'll just click on this part right here where it says HTML code. And you can see this is a bunch of, code. Let me pull this out so you can see. Now, you're looking at this, you're like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. You don't need most of this, okay? This is most of this is just like CSS or their style. It's telling that, to make the form look pretty. All you want is the form itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through here. We're going to hunt, and look for where we see the alligator mouth. I'm not even sure what this is called. It's like a lesser than sign. Or I guess that would be a greater than sign. I don't know. Alligator mouth, where it says form, action. And we're going to go all the way down to where we see the form again. And where it closes, we're going to get the alligator mouth behind it. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm from the South. I don't know what else to call it. It shows you that you don't have to be smart, super smart to make money online. I don't know what it's called. I just know how to make it work. Okay? So now I'm going to right click and choose copy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my favorite HTML editor, whichever one you happen to use. In this case we're going to be using Composer. And while it's loading, I'm going to browse over some of the questions that I'm getting. Oh, we got a bunch. Okay, I'll go back to those questions in just a second because there's a lot of them on there and I don't want to get off track. So let me finish this and then we'll get to it. Okay, so let's say that I want to make my form look better. And this is with Imnica, okay? So I'm going to go to click on the source. I'm just going to copy my form in. I'm going to choose all this and then just copy my form over it. So we'll go back to normal. You can see this is what you got. And I hope y'all can see this. I hope this is big enough for everybody to see. As you can see, it's pretty, if I hit the preview, it's just a basic form. Email address, the box, and the submit button, right? So first of all, we want to change the submit button to say something cool, like, let's make it say, where are we at? We're going to come through here and look for value, subscribe. There it is. We're going to change that to get instant access. And you can also add an image to this. I just learned how to do that recently. And the way you do that is, I'll show you that in just a second on how you add the image to an Imnica form for your button. But it's basically where it says input type, you put in image, and then you put in the link to your image. So I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So you can see how I changed it here to get instant access. I can also highlight like this, and make it bigger, make it bold. You can center it, whatever you want. Then you can mess around with it like that. And then you would go back once you got looking the way you wanted. You go back and copy your form again. Control C. And what I did is once I've got a form that I like, is I just save the template. And so I just keep it like in a note file or something. And then anytime I do a new squeeze page, all I have to do is look through here, because that's really cool about Imnica is their opt-in forms are really, really easy to work with once you just pull out the code in the middle. You don't have to be smart with code, because I'm not. But I figured out how to do a lot of cool stuff with it. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to look through here where it says form value underscore list ID, and it says value equals 7267. That's where you're going to change it. So if you decide to do another list, it's going to be your list ID. And how you get the list ID is they actually made it really easy now. It used to have to be a little bit harder to find the list IDs, but now they make it really super easy for you. They list them right here next to the list. So if I want to change the opt-in form to work for this one, I would just plug in this ID instead, the 4080. If I wanted to change it to this one, I would just change out that number right there. So that's all I have to do is change out that number, and then I have a new form. And with Imnica, your redirects and stuff are actually handled through Imnica. So that's how you would do your form. I would copy that onto my new squeeze page, and then what you would do is, let's go back over here to, actually let me choose one that I've got. I don't have that one set up right. Let me go show you one that I have set up right. Let's see. Let me find one. Here we go. This is one set up right. Now, what you do to now, a lot of people ask me, well, Coby, okay, I figured out how to get my Imnica form on my squeeze page. I've got my Imnica form on my squeeze page, but how do I send them to the one-time offer? How do I make it redirect them to my, to the download page or to the one-time offer? And that's easy. What you do is you choose your list, like I just did, and you click on it, open it up. Over on the left where it says List Options, we're going to click on Settings. And you can see here it's got the list name, the subscription type. This is where you would choose single opt-in or double opt-in. And again, if you're using the free account, then you're required to use double opt-in, and this won't even be an option. So I, of course, left this one on single opt-in, as you can see. Now here's where you got some other stuff that you can do. In this case, what I've done is anybody that subscribes to this list, they also get subscribed to the newsletter. And the reason I did this is because they also have I have a general newsletter for all my freebies, so to speak, all the people who've signed up for something free and haven't necessarily bought something from me. And then I have a general list for everyone who has bought something from me. And the reason I do that is because at Imnica, they don't have as advanced automation like they do at Aweber, where at Aweber I can set up like 20 different automation for each list. At Imnica, it's a little bit more limited to, I can subscribe them and unsubscribe them from other lists, but you can only do it to one. So what I do is I have them all subscribed to my newsletter whenever they sign up for the, the free stuff, and then whenever they buy something, they're also added to my general buyers list, which will automatically remove them from the freebie list. So it's kind of just a little workaround. But but you don't have to do that if you only have 2 lists. The only reason I have to do that is because you just saw like 20 lists in Imnica. If you didn't want to do that, then you would just uncheck those, but you can see I have it set to subscribe him or her to a specific list. If I want to change it, just do the drop down. You can choose it here. You can then unsubscribe him from a specific list. You can do that here whenever they subscribe. And if you're using double opt-in and you want to show your own confirmation page, which I highly, highly recommend. In fact, I recommend you going as far as creating a video and making it really like pretend that they're dumb. You're going to insult some people, but you're going to help most people, okay? Pretend that they know nothing at all about email marketing or and make a video showing them how to go to their email and find it and look in the spam and all that stuff, and it helps. Man, I did that on one of my lists, and the confirmation rate was like almost 100%. It was like close to 90%, which I figured the other 10% is probably just people putting in the wrong email address or mistyping or something. So I was really happy with that. So if you're having trouble with getting confirmations when you're using double opt-in, create them a video showing them how to confirm it. But if you're using single opt-in, you just leave that alone. And so I'm using and either way, you're going to need to display your own confirmation confirm page. So I check that box and I put in the URL here. And the same thing with the subscription error page. The subscription error page is what they're going to get if they are already subscribed. Now there's a little danger to this. I always set it here because if they already subscribed, I want them to go to the one-time offer. But with Imnica, if they happen to like mistype it or something, or maybe put the data in wrong, it won't tell them, hey, you put your email in wrong. It will just go ahead and send them on. It won't give them an error. So that's the downside to it. But to me, I don't really care. I just let them go on, and because I'd rather them see the sales page. Because I don't think that this percentage of people that are getting the errors are probably really, really insignificant. And then you can see down here when a subscriber unsubscribes from this list, unsubscribe him or her from a specific list, and that was the same list that I auto-subscribed them from. So you can see that the Internet Marketing Newsletter. And then you can also choose to unsubscribe them from all lists. You can have them added to a suppression list, which the suppression list means that they're added to a list that say that you happen to import them back in on accident, because maybe you're like me and you have Imnica and you use Aweber, and maybe you're moving subscribers from one autoresponder to the other, and they'd already unsubscribed in between the processes, and then you import them back in. If you had them added to the suppression list, they won't be imported back in. So I normally will do that. I do that on the Internet Marketing Newsletter. I don't do that on this one because maybe they want to come back and get the software again. So, and then the global suppression list would be, which means they wouldn't receive any emails from any list. And then if you want to use your own unsubscription confirm page, then you can put that in here. If you want to do like one of the ones where people do like, stop, I'm sorry, did you get too many emails from me? You've been unsubscribed, but if you want to get added to my once a week email list, you can subscribe here. So that's how you set that up. So in this case, Whenever they opted in, they'd automatically be set up. I don't have to worry about anything else. Now, oh, excuse me, let me mute this for a second. Okay, so that's how easy it is to get your opt-in form up and get it on your squeeze page and get them going into your funnel. Now, the second part that you would need with Imnica is you would need to set up your autoresponders, which this is the follow-up messages. That's another thing that I need to point out to y'all is the verbiage that's used. For example, at Imnica, the one-time emails that you send out, you know, daily or whatever, like the email that I sent out for this webinar was a broadcast, is what Aweber calls it. Imnica calls it a campaign. Okay, and then the messages that people get after they're on your list automatically, Aweber calls them follow-ups. Imnica calls them autoresponders. So that sometimes confuses people. But at Imnica, all you're going to do is click on autoresponders under list options, and you can see it brings up all these messages that I've already got set up. And this one has quite a few. And all you're going to do is another thing with Imnica and Aweber. Imnica bases all of their subscriptions on triggers. Or I'm sorry, all the autoresponders are triggered by actions. For example, being subscribed. No big deal. Whereas Aweber, they're based on time. Now, what that means is with Imnica, whenever I'm setting up a new list, is I want to set up all of my autoresponders or my follow-up messages before I start taking people on the list. For example, if I only set up like these first, say I set up these first 5 messages, and then I started getting people on the list, and then I added 5 more. Well, let's say I added 5 messages, and then I added 100 people to my list. Well, they would start getting these. They would get all 5 messages, right? But then I added 5 more messages, and then I added 100 more people to my list. Well, the second 100 people will get all 10 messages, whereas the first 5 people will only get the first 5, because Imnica doesn't know to trigger them, because whenever they subscribe, these other autoresponders or follow-up messages didn't exist. If that makes sense. So just make sure that you have all of your follow-ups in place prior to taking subscriptions. But the cool side is with Imnica is they're really lenient, and they're really awesome when it comes to like moving your subscribers around. So let's say that I wanted to add like 20 more messages to this. What I could do is I could export this list, and then I could have them re-import it and trigger the autoresponder messages, and then they would start over at 1. You know, so you can do it that way, or you can move them to another list and have them start over on another autoresponder sequence, which is really, really cool, really cool. Whereas with at Aweber, when you set them up, they're retroactive. So at Aweber, if I had 5 and I added 100 people to my list and they saw all 5 messages, and then let's say that I added a 6th one, well, then they would automatically get that 6th one like instantly, and then the rest of people that come through would just get it in line. If that makes sense. So that's the basics so far on Imnica. So I'm going to go to I've showed you how to. Let me go to Aweber and I'll show you how to make a form there, and then I'm going to go to the questions and see what we got. So all you would do is choose your list, go to the top, click on Web Forms. We're back at Aweber now, okay? I'm going to show you how to do a web form at Aweber. Now, all you're going to do is you choose your list, click on Web Forms at the top, and choose Create a New Web Form. Now, with Aweber, you got a lot more options as far as creating opt-in forms that are more attractive. But that's also a downside, because you could literally spend all day trying to get the perfect opt-in form. All I do when I go to Aweber is I literally kind of just strip I'll use the base one that they give you, and I'll just strip it. Meaning I'm Xing out. I'm hitting the X here to close out all these extra pieces. And I'm going to get rid of the name also. So I'll just get all the way down to email and the submit button. That's it. The next thing that I'll do is I'll click on the background, or I'll come over here to where it says body, and I'll click on this color right here, and I'll choose no color. So that's transparent. And then the next one over is border. I'll just pick the drop down arrow and choose none. And so that takes away right there, and it leaves me with a really clean, little smooth thing here with the transparent background, so I can put it on any color squeeze page. The next thing I would do is I would click on labels, or go over here and choose labels. That's for the email right here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. make it like 14, maybe bold it, and then I would choose the button, and I would either change this to something like get instant access, or here's another thing that you can do, which is cool and easy at Aweber, is you can type in the link to a button here. So if you have your own custom button, you can just type it in here. Now I'll show you how to do this at Imnica as well in just a moment. I have to go grab the code for that. So you just put in your URL for your button. I think that will work. There we go. And of course that's way bigger, and you're like, Coby, that looks kind of funny. So what I would need to do now is resize it. So I just grab this little thing and pull it over. Go and center it. And we're set. Now all I would do is go to Save Web Form, go to click step 2, put in a name for it, webinar form or whatever, and then, I don't want that Facebook. What you're going to now, the same thing where we were just doing at Imnica, setting up connecting it to your one-time offer or your download page, this is where you do it at Aweber. At Aweber, it's not list specific, but it's form specific. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Meaning that at Imnica, it was list specific, where we set it up for it at each list. So I can use that one form anywhere, and it's going to automatically send it there without having to do anything to the code. At Aweber, it's the opposite. So you can use one list, and you can send them to multiple different download pages, which is it's good in some instances. So what you would do here is you're going to click this drop-down arrow that says Thank You page. You're going to put in Use Your Own URL, and this is where you're going to put in your download page. I'm just going to put in cobywright.com, because if I put in one that doesn't work, it'll tell you, oh, it doesn't work. And then same thing on the already subscribed page. This is not the same as an error page. If there's some kind of other error, Aweber will still tell them, but they're already subscribed, then you can send them to your download page, which is what you want to do. If you want to do that, you may not want that. And then you can also do some other stuff. A lot of people don't realize this is here. If you click on Show Advanced Settings, you can actually choose which message they start on. This one only has, this one has quite a few, so I could choose any of these 13 messages in here to start them on. Like I could start them on number 6 if I wanted to, or I could start them on number 10, or I could just choose down here, no follow-ups, only broadcast. And then I would choose Save Web Form. Now I would go to step 3, and then I would choose I will install my form myself. You can also have them host it, right, using this. If you're going to install it yourself, do not use the JavaScript snippet. I called it a script. Anyway, it's a snippet because not all browsers have JavaScript enabled, so they won't see your form. So what you do is you click that, and you can see there's a lot of. You can see, look at this form compared to the Imnica form. It's like, wow, look at all this stuff. Yeah, it's huge and it's nasty, but it looks cool. So that's why I can't really, once I make a form at Aweber, I really can't change it too much, because you can see there's a lot of stuff to kind of wade through, and so I kind of have to go with what I go. So that's a downside. But you can make really nice ones. So it's a give and take. Now I'll just take this, and we can go back over to like here, and I can paste it in here, and you'll see what it looks like. See, that took up the whole page, just that form. Wow. So you can see the preview. There it is. That's what that looks like. All right, so let me go over to the questions. Let's see what we got. All right, let's get back at the top. Brian Liddell asks, integrating Imnica with DAP, Digital Access Pass, have you done this? And if so, how did you do it? I have Digital Access Pass, but I haven't yet integrated it because, like I said, I'm not very smart when it comes to tech stuff, and I couldn't, so I haven't done it yet. I'm pretty sure it would be easy to do for someone who was a little bit more tech-minded than me. My intentions were to hire a programmer and pay them like $80 or something just to create a little script that integrated it for me. I just haven't done that yet, so sorry, I can't answer that yet, although that is something I will be hopefully able to answer for you in the future. Michael said, evening Coby and everyone. Evening Michael, welcome. Adam Sheldon asked me, Coby, what about using GetResponse? I knew this question was going to come up because I always get this question. I don't like GetResponse myself because of a few instances that my students have had using them, and my own experience with the messages that I get from them in my inbox, it seems that a lot of the people whose list I'm on that use GetResponse, it ends up in my spam folder. And I've also had some students that tried to move to GetResponse, and they got treated like they were lower class citizens, even though they were trying to transfer their Aweber list. And actually, I had a very well-known warrior. I don't really want to say his name, so I don't know if he'd appreciate me saying his name, but he was actually trying to import his buyers, some of his buyers, into GetResponse because he had done a WSO and got WSO the day, with somebody. So he was taking his part of the leads and trying to put them into GetResponse, and he did it. He had them double opt in, reconfirm, the completely legit way, and they banned him because they said he had too many spam complaints or something, and it was a legit list, and he was trying to do it the right way. That's one of the reasons I don't like GetResponse, and it seems to me that GetResponse is very, very similar to Imnica, but they charge a lot more, and their deliverability is not that great. That's just from my own opinion. Like I said, I've been in their interface on the back end with some of my students' accounts, and just from what other my students have told me from their using Aweber and GetResponse, I don't like GetResponse. I may change in the future. I may use them, but right now I don't have a reason to use them, so I don't really mess with them. But like I said, I'm not saying that they don't have they do have some cool features at GetResponse that I like. So I do look at them. I do occasionally look at them. I do consider them. I'm not narrow-minded. I do look at them quite a bit, and I keep my ears open because I like some stuff they're doing there, but I'm not ready yet to use them. I do like their Get Subscribers, the co-registration that they have. I like that. That's pretty cool. I like they have a really good API. So GetResponse has some good options, and if you're using GetResponse, don't stop using them. Keep using them. But that's just my opinion. I'm nobody, so don't take it. Just take that for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, they're really similar to Imnica, and so I just stick with Imnica there. But I'm not saying that I'm more than likely will end up use GetResponse at some time in the future. So I do keep an open mind. Market Secrets blogger said he just came in, screen froze because all I see is maybe it could have been frozen. It's not froze now. It says it's on there showing the screen. Okay. Can you transfer lists from Aweber to Imnica? Michael asked. You used to be able to do that. I don't know if they're allowing it anymore. Now, if you have a list they can probably log in. If they can log in and see it at Aweber, I don't see why they would have a problem. If you tried to import the CSV, then they might have a problem now because they had some people that were abusing their system. So they've kind of put the lockdown on that, and they're being really strict about it right now. I mean, just because people were abusing it. So I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I've heard that they aren't allowing it anymore, the direct imports. But if you have a legit Aweber list, I don't really see a problem with it. I think they're doing it to keep the people who are buying lists and doing all the, swapping lists and just all the crazy stuff. I think they're doing it to keep them out. Or you can just continue with both. Yeah, you can. In fact, that's what I would agree you do, Michael. Is not necessarily transfer from Aweber to Imnica unless it's a budget thing. I suggest you just open up another one as a backup because if Aweber is having issues, then you can still send email through Imnica and vice versa. That way you always have, and you can always be testing one against the other. That's something, because I used to 6 months ago I wasn't an Aweber fan. I mean, I used them. Only reason I started using them is because I needed backup, and I started with Aweber and I left them because they were too expensive, and I went to Imnica, and now I like Aweber again. So I still like Imnica better, but I am using my Aweber quite a bit, so it's great for backup. And now that I have over 10,000 in both, that's why I use other ones as well. Once you get to 10,000, 20,000, you should definitely be looking for another one. And yeah, I think that's a great idea, Michael, is to use both. Are you being able to? Can you see anything now, Market Secrets blogger? Wayne said some members are complaining about Aweber not delivering their emails. Do you use or recommend GetResponse? Yeah, well, I think I just covered the part about GetResponse, but yeah, that's one of the reasons that, especially lately, Aweber has been having a lot of trouble. So that's why I use now 4 or 5 autoresponders, is because if my emails aren't going out through Aweber, well, I still have another 14,000, 15,000 people I can email just from my Imnica account. I have 2 more Imnica accounts that are joint accounts that I'm partners with people on. I have a constant contact account that has about 20,000 people in it. I have an iContact account. I have a campaign monitor account. I also have an opt-in me account. So I'm covered, but now I have big enough lists that, so if Aweber's having trouble, I can still, my income won't take as big a hit. Have I used gravity forms with Imnica? I'm not sure what a gravity form is, Brahm. Marcus Secrets blogger asked about ListWire. I've never used ListWire, even though it is completely free, and a lot of people like it. The only reason I didn't use it is because it's required double opt-in, and not that I don't have a problem with it at all with double opt-in, but I like to be able to choose whether or not I get to use it. Oh, thanks, DR. DR said that Gravity Forms is a WordPress plugin for creating forms. No, I don't really do much. I haven't used Gravity, so no, I haven't used that, Bram. Thank you, DR. Adam said he heard that GetResponse were delivering better than Aweber. See, it depends on who you ask, Adam. The people that told me, they told me opposite. So it really depends, and it's really hard to judge it, because I know that, like I said, I'm on several people's list who use GetResponse, and they all go to the spam folder. So I have 2. The ones that I wanted to read, I eventually just hit not spam, so they would start landing in my. But I get Aweber in my spam too, and I get Imnica in my spam as well. So it's not really saying much. My students though that have switched, they didn't like it, and they said that their percentages went down. But I know, but it also, there's a lot of things that when you switch autoresponders that people don't realize. If you take the oh, thanks, Sue, I will, thank you. If you take your Aweber list and you move it to Imnica, or you take your Aweber list and you move it to GetResponse or anywhere, and vice versa, if you take any list and move it to another autoresponder, if it's the exact same list that you've been emailing, your opens are going to be lower no matter what, and your everything is going to be lower. The reason is because it's going to go to spam. It's more than likely going to go to spam the first couple times, and I know for a fact this is true. Other than being told this, is because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it whenever Charles Kirkland started testing GetResponse, and he moved his Aweber list to GetResponse. The first emails went to my spam until I started opening them and reading them, and eventually clicked not spam. So, but what happens is your ISP, if you're using Yahoo or Gmail, whatever, your email client, they recognize the ISP and the sender info from Coby Wright, and it's coming from Imnica or whatever. And so if I start sending it same name, same address, everything, but from a different place, it's kind of like if I'm sending you letters by mail from Tennessee, and then you get one from me one day from Hawaii, you can be like, whoa, is this really Coby? What's going on here? The letters he sent me come from Tennessee. Why is this one from Hawaii? So that's kind of what it is. In the first couple of weeks, no matter what, you're going to be lower until your email client starts getting used to it. RC asks, what does CSV mean? I'm sorry, that's probably my southern accent. I meant CSV as in Victor. Let me type that in so y'all can, and that's just a type of CSV. Stands for comma separated value. And that's just a type. It's like an Excel sheet. Is it normally like a CSV? Let's see. Okay, let me go and show you how to get rid of the unsubscribes at Aweber, and I'm going to have to do this very delicately so I don't give away, data that could get me in trouble. So I'm going to pause my screen for just a second. Actually, I can go and show y'all first. Let me show you. What you do is click on subscribers. So I'm gonna click on that, and then I'm gonna pause my screen and click on that and bring it up. So you click on subscribers, and okay, I can unpause my screen, and then you can see it brings up this little box right here. So first thing you're gonna do is click on stop status over here on the left where it says select field, and again I chose my list over here, and then I chose the tab at the top for subscribers. I just clicked on the subscribers. I didn't go to search, none of these. I just clicked on the tab. It brought this up. Go to stop status is, and then I'm going to change this to unsubscribed, and then just click the green search button. Okay, now let me pause my screen so I can put a text file over here to block the email so I don't give away data and of my customers and maybe get in trouble. So give me just a second here to fix this so I can show you how this works. Sorry, that's the hassles of being live. But this will save you some money, so alright, let me get this blocked here. I want my alright. And hopefully this doesn't jump out of the way. Let me make it a little bit bigger in case I scroll. Okay. Okay, you have to excuse the big ugly text file here. I'm just hiding the emails so that I don't give away, information that is may not want to be, the people may not want me giving away. Okay, so once I've done that, you can see it gave me a list of emails, which of course you can't see them, but they are there. And you can see over here on the right where it says stopped, and it has all these dates, right? So all you do is you click erase up here at the top, and of course when I do that, it's gonna, all right. Sorry, I had to pause the screen for a second to get. So I clicked erase, and you can see it put all these here. Now all you're going to do is scroll down and go to webinars right where I need to be. Let me move it. There we go. Scroll down and it just put up all their information. Sorry. And then click save at the bottom. And boom. It just got rid of those 20. And that's all you do. You just do it again and again. Of course, what you want to do is you want to click this 100 at the bottom, and so that you can display it in groups of 100 so that you can, of course, do it faster. So I hope that's how easy it is to get rid of your unsubscribes, and it'll take a few minutes. Let's go over here and look. It'll take just a few minutes, and it'll update, and it'll take like 20 away from this, which it looks like it already did. And if y'all look, I lost 15 subscribers since we last looked, either from bounces or from people unsubscribing from the email that I just sent. So I've also added more. This went up as well, so I'm already at 94. I think we're like 70. So basically, that's kind of funny. Nonetheless, that's how you get rid of your unsubscribe so that you're not getting charged for them. And you can also, if that's too hard for you, you can also just you can actually call Aweber on the phone or send them an email and tell them to remove them, and they'll do it for you as well. And if you mess up and you accidentally delete some of your list, don't worry. Aweber is really good about fixing it for you. They'll just ask you some questions. All right, let's see what we got over here. John said, I'm a newbie with my own small list, and I've just joined Aweber. How do I get my customer list on Aweber without opting them in? John, the only way that you can do that with Aweber is, let me go over here to my Aweber, and what you will do is, let's say that I want to add them to this Coby blog cache. I want to add them to this list. I'll go over here to subscribers and then go down to import. You can go to add. If you go to add, you can add up to 10 a day to your cPanel, but they're still going to have to double opt in. But you go to import, and now you can paste in your form here. If you have a CSV, you can just copy and paste it in. You can upload it however you want to do it, and then you hit next. But what this is going to do, this is going to send out it's going to make them double opt in. So it's going to make them confirm. So what you need to do is you need to create a confirmation message and make sure that you tell them exactly what's going on. Like, I would want to put something like, put your name up here and put, hey, important or something. Make sure they open it and make sure that they know that. Don't just let Aweber send out the generic one, which you can see this one's customized to fit this particular list. So you want to make it even more custom than this, because you're going to lose a lot of them. because a lot of them aren't going to confirm. They're going to miss the email, or they're just not going to see it, or they're going to think it's spam or whatever. So make your entry, your confirmation email as enticing and as thorough as you can. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Brian. I'll check that out. Simon said, where'd it go? Go back up. Simon Lee asked, "Hi Coby, I came in late. I'd like to know how you split your list among different autoresponders. Do you split them by niches? Would splitting your subscribers that are within the same niche into 2 or more autoresponders make it cumbersome and less effective?" I don't go to really any links to split them. What I do is just, some of my products have Aweber forms, some of my products have Imnica forms. So I just, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing like a joint venture with somebody, and it may not be possible to get opt-ins like right away, and I had to import them, in that case I would use something like, I would use Imnica, and I would import them into my Imnica because I wouldn't have them at all otherwise. If I was, it depends, and you know, some of my freebies list have Aweber forms, some of them have Imnica. It just depends on what I'm doing, and if they integrate with Aweber, if they integrate with Imnica. It depends. So I don't really like have any science of splitting it. It just kind of depends on at the moment. Right now, most of my opt-ins are going into my Aweber, simply because, like I said, it's the backup. So I've got about 15,000 or 16,000 or so uniques in my Imnica account, and I've got about 10,000 uniques in Aweber. So I'm just trying to even them out right now. And once I hit about 20,000 in Aweber, well, then I will start building up my, my constant contact or something. And so the key is to kind of like hit 20,000, then go to another one, hit 20,000, then go to another one, so that I can just kind of keep all my eggs safe. And John said, or Market Secrets Blogger asked, can't John do that using automation? Yeah, he can. But what he's asking is, Market Secrets Blogger, is if they weren't already on his list. If your buyers are already on your list, John, that's a great question, because I need to show you all the automation rules anyways. You can set it up to where you can see, like, I have here buyers AR Magic and build a huge list. These two are, this is the freebie list, and if they buy the product, they get moved to this one. So let me show you how I've got it set up. If you click on that, you click on list, or you just hover over list and then choose automation. And you can see this is where the automation feature at Aweber is a lot more advanced than it is in Imnica, because you can see I have one. Look at all these. That's a lot. And so basically, anytime they subscribe to any other list, I remove them from this list. But the more important part is that anytime they get on any other buyer's list, they're removed from the previous list. And all you do is you come down here and you choose, let's say, unsubscribe from list, build a huge list when lead subscribes to buyers AR Magic, because that's the buyer's list, right? And I would hit save automation rule. Of course, I've already got this one way up here. And that will keep your new opt-ins on your buyer's list and off your freebies list. And also, I suggest you set that up for a lot of your freebie lists as well, so that you're not paying for duplicates, which I've done really well with setting up my automation, because, like I said, I have 10,485 or whatever, and the email that I sent to y'all a few minutes ago, or about an hour ago now, this is before the training webinar, went out to 10,000, almost 10,100. So I've only got about 400 or so duplicates, which is really, really, really amazing out of 10,000, because you saw my duplicates at Aweber was like 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 duplicates over at Aweber. I'm sorry, at Imnica. And so that helps with the at Aweber with keeping your duplicates down and setting up the automation. And it can be a pain in the butt, but once you set it up, it's done. You don't have to set it up again. So it's once and done. And it might take you about 5 minutes to set them all up for a new list, but then it's done. You don't have to worry about it. Let's see. RC says, let me make sure to say this before I read out loud. Okay. Yeah, let me, you can get me on Skype, RC. Actually, all of y'all can add me on Skype. I have a list building mastermind I'll add y'all to. putting that in here. It's Coby_Wright. You can also email me, RC. CJ said, how do you back up your list at any autoresponders? Can you download them to your hard drive? Thank you. Oh, CJ, great question. Thank you so much for asking that. That is very, very, very important. Very important. I do this daily at Aweber. I don't do it as much at Imnica. I do it daily at Aweber simply because I'm scared of Aweber. But all you do at Aweber to back it up is you click on My List, just the tab right here. You don't have to go in, and then you see it gives you two options here: create a new list and back up and export all active lists. We'll click that, and you can see today's the 20th. I created one yesterday, but I'm going to create another one for today. So I'll just click create another backup, and it'll take about 2 or 3 minutes. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go over to Imnica and show you how you do it at Imnica. At Imnica, it's the same way. You just have to do it, if you have more lists, you have to do it per list instead of just getting one convenient zip file. What you do is you right-click it. I'm sorry, not right-click, just click on it. And you can go subscriber actions, go down to export. And it's going to ask you what information you want to export. And it gives you all these options here. To choose more than one, you hold down Control, and you can click as many as you want. What I would normally choose is I would go with email, subscription date, subscription IP, maybe first name. That's probably about all I would take. And maybe not even take the date. And you could also choose you want to export the active subscribers, suppressed subscribers, the unsubscribed subscribers, or do you want to segments or bounces? In this case, we'll just do that. You can choose what kind of file you want it. CSV would be the best, or you can do an XML or a tab delimited text file. And then we just click export, and it saves it right to your hard drive. Now let's go back over to Aweber. I bet it's probably done now. Let's see. Let me close this. I'll click on this again, and it is ready. As you can see, it says click the button below to download. And it also sent me an email. So I have an email right now at Yahoo telling me that my download's ready, and then I just click boom, and it saves it to as a zip file to my hard drive. And it's as simple as that. So that way, if something happens and I get banned from Aweber or Aweber blows up, I can take my list. I can go over to Imnica, or I can go to another autoresponder that will allow me to import it, and I can set back up or I can set up my own autoresponder or my own, host if I want to, and be back up and running. So that was a great question. I hope that answered that one. Let's go back to the list here. I'm not sure about that, Market Secrets. I got the email, but I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. I did join as an affiliate, but I haven't checked that out yet. John said, Coby, since I just joined Aweber, do your existing customers have to opt in with the Imnica account? No. If you're well, it depends. John, in the past you didn't have to. You could just import them straight to Imnica. I've heard recently that they weren't allowing direct imports anymore, but I think that if you have a legitimate list and you can prove them that they're buyers, because we all know buyers are a different breed than just regular subscribers. Because the owner, Killian, is a really good guy. He's really, so as long as you've got goodwill, I think you can still import them there, even though I last heard they weren't allowing direct imports anymore. But if they are still allowing it at Imnica, you don't have to make them reconfirm. No, you have the option to choose if they reconfirm or not, and you also have the option to choose whether or not they trigger the autoresponder messages that you have set up, the follow-up messages. And Lee says, what parts of Imnica do you think are the least optimal features of their system? It seems to me that a lot of people, Lee, have a problem navigating the interface at Imnica. Let me go back over here. To me, it's not that big a deal because I've been using them for a long time, so I guess it's easy for me. A lot of people have a hard time with their interface, and it's because they're like, it's different than Aweber, and I think a lot of people are used to Aweber, and they get confused with the verbiage. And also, Imnica needs an upgrade. They need a button within here that you can click and upgrade your account instantly, because if you hit your limit, then they instantly cut it off. Like it just stops. It doesn't, like with Aweber, it instantly rolls you over. At Imnica, they don't do that because it's PayPal based, so they can't stop your subscription at PayPal. You know, PayPal doesn't let them to change it. So you actually have to go back to their site. You have to order the highest plan. You have to go back to PayPal, cancel your old subscription. Then you have to send a support ticket. Now it's normally done all in the same day, but it's a little bit of hassle. That I think is to be changed. Something that I think is really cool at Imnica. They've been doing this forever, and I will GetResponse just started doing this. I think GetResponse is charging for this, but let me show you. Let me just set up a fake campaign. What it allows you to do is view your email in different email clients. So let's just choose one here. I'm just gonna go through here to show you. So we're running out of time here, so if you have any more questions, put them in now, because after these questions are over, we're gonna have to call a knot. I didn't realize I've had y'all on here this long. So I'm just gonna choose, let's see, one that I did recently. There's a lot of campaigns here. Let's go down to this one. Just pretend that I'm just gonna choose next. This one's already wrote, so I'm just gonna go through here. But one of the cool features that Imnica has that Aweber doesn't have this exact thing is the share buttons that I can add to my email for Twitter and Facebook. Aweber does let you integrate with Facebook and Twitter, but they just post your message to Twitter and to Facebook rather than letting your customers themselves like them and put them on their own Twitter and Facebook. So I think that's really cool as well. But let me show you all this email preview. And so this is what you get after you get ready to, this is where your spam score would be. I've gotten pretty good, you see, at writing 0.0 spam scores emails at Imnica. But what you would do is you would click this, create a design test. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go and preview what my email would look like in 30 different email clients. So it's going to be doing that right now. You can see it's doing that. AOL Desktop Standard. It's going to have Gmail Basic, Facebook, iPhone 3, Mobile Me, Opera, there's Outlook, plain text. You can see some of them already starting to show up. It showed up here in Thunderbird. So that you can see what it looks like. And make sure that it's looking like what you want it to look like. And so far, it's looking pretty good, like I would want it to look like on all these, as far as I could tell. So that's really great, because a lot of times you may think your email looks good and formatted, but how many times have we all got an email from a marketer and there's no spaces in between it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like all the paragraphs are squished together. And I guarantee you, when they wrote it, they thought, or that when they sent it, it was not squashed. I see this a lot with GetResponse, and with Imnica, there's a trick to it, to doing it as well, and I'll show you all that as soon as this is done. Basically, all you do is I write my emails in the plain text version first, and then I will copy and paste that into the HTML, and then I'll hyperlink you my links and stuff. So that's how I keep my spacing intact using Imnica and stuff. And I tried that with GetResponse with one of my students, and it didn't work. So that's another thing that I don't like about GetResponse. And I have trouble with it at Our Contact also. So, but normally, if you will copy the plain text and paste it into the HTML, it'll keep your spacing. You can see, I don't know if you can see any of these. Let me click on one of these and bring it up. Let's pick one that looks kind of cool. Let's see what it looks like at Facebook. We click View. And it's taking just a second. While I'm going to look at the last of the questions while we're doing this. Market Secrets Blogger said I actually get those from Ron Das. What do you mean you get which? Hey RC, actually, you know what? My email normally gets skimmed over and not checked very often. Let me give you the link to my support desk. That way I can keep up with it, because a lot of times what will happen is I'll tell somebody, I guess I could have sent that to everybody. I'll tell somebody, yeah, here's my email, email me, and they'll send me an email, and I will delete it and not even realize that it was a good email, because I get a crap ton of emails. Cool. Well, I guess I need to give you all the links now for Aweber and Imnica, if there's no more questions, so that y'all can sign up if you want. And of course, you don't have to use my affiliate links. You know that. So if you don't want to use my affiliate links, it's just aweber.com and imnicamail.com. But of course, since I spent all this hard time training you, I would really appreciate it if you use my links. And here they are. It's gocoby.com/Aweber and cobywright.com/Imnica. Of course, that I'm giving you a hard time. You're not required to use those. It's just, and it looks like I've already got them in the chat box. I'll put them in there again. And if there's any more questions, go ahead and put them in now. I see that it's flashing, so I'll go ahead and answer those. And if not, or I'll finish those off, and then we'll call it a knot. So let me see what they say. RC said, thank you. You're very welcome. Brad said, good job, Coby. Thanks. You're very welcome. And then Adam said, where's the option to see what it looks like? I clicked on it. It's just still loading. Let me show you. But it has a little, you can see right here when you hover, it says view. And it's going to make me wait till all these are done, I think. If you hover over it, it's a little bitty blue thing that shows up, says view. Let's go down here and look and see what it looks like on the iPhone. See if it'll let me load it. There it goes. And there you go. That's what it looks like on an iPhone, which I think that looks really cool. So that would be, if I was, of course, previewing this, I would say, great, awesome, that's exactly what I want it to look like. And let's go over here and see what it looks like at, see what it looks like at Gmail Basic. So see, there you go. And that's exactly how I would want it to look. So I'd be very happy with that, and I would be willing to send it along. So that's just a cool feature that Aweber doesn't have that Imnica does, that I think is awesome. I don't use it as much as I should, but it's good to have whenever you know, leery. And of course, you can also send an email to a test email to yourself up here. You can preview it on your browser by checking that and clicking preview. You can see what it looks like here. Everything looks good. And you can see what it looks like in plain content. And this is what I'm talking about with Imnica not tracking plain text emails. You can see over here on the HTML content, you might not be able to see this, but if I hover over this, then the link says imnica.com and then a bunch of numbers, and then, you know, it's a tracking link. But if I go to the plain text content, you just get the link, which is cobywright.com/product reviews, time, money, converted review. So you just get the plain link. So that if someone opens a plain text email and they read it and they click on this link, I'm never going to know. Or at least Imnica is not going to know, because they can't track it, because there's no way to track it. But the upside of that is this email with this plain text non-tracking link is more likely to land in the inbox than one without, because nearly always plain text emails, the tracking links do not have www in them. And for some odd reason, when a link doesn't have www in it, it's just a plain link. When it's in plain text, for some reason, the spam filters flag that more than they would do when it doesn't. I don't know, but that's one thing that I've learned, that adding www in my plain text to my links made a huge difference with my inboxing ability, rather than landing in the spam folder. Yes, Scott, I am recording it, and my computer has not crashed, so I think we'll be fine. Adam asks, is it only available to do it in Imnica? Adam, I thought that GetResponse just rolled out something that they're calling, I forget what they're calling, but I think GetResponse just rolled out something that they're doing similar to the little preview thing that Imnica does. I think they're charging for it. But Aweber doesn't do it that I know of, and the other autoresponders that I do don't do it, at least that I've found. Constant Contact and iContact, they don't do it at least that I've found anywhere. They may be able to do it, I just haven't found it in there, because I obviously don't spend as much time in their interfaces as I do with Imnica and Aweber. Neil said, thanks, Coby, but I feel you are as yet only scratched the surface of Imnica. Yeah, I have. You're right. We could literally spend all day on Imnica and Aweber or any autoresponder talking about all the different things you could do. Gabriel said, as always, a pleasure. Thank you very much, sir. And Alan said, nothing wrong with mentioning to use your affiliate link, Coby. I don't know. I just like to give people options. I don't want y'all to feel that you must do this because you know, it helps, but some people just don't. You know, some people don't like affiliate links. I understand. So, any more questions? I'll go ahead and put those in, and we'll. Looks like everybody's just saying thanks. That's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the recording. You don't have to leave just yet. Hang around. If you have any more questions, I'll wrap those up. For those of you who are watching the replay, if you want to go and check out these two autoresponders, Aweber or Imnica, I've got the addresses listed here on the screen. Aweber is at gocoby.com/Aweber, and then Imnica is at cobywright.com/Imnica. And of course, I'll put the links below this replay as well. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, put them below the video on the blog, or send me a ticket at support.cobywright.com. This is Coby with cobywright.com, signing off.